series can be yours on CD or DVD when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today.
It's the catalyst for change you've been waiting on. New Mind, New Me, from Bishop David G. Evans.
I want to be loved. Why do I take the person that loves me and kick them to the curb? I want to be wealthy, but I spend all my money. You were created and given a slave, a doulos, a servant called your mind. Your mind is out of order when it questions your command.
If you are ready for true transformation, Bishop David G. Evans would like to bless you with the New Mind, New Me 4-message DVD set. Order today, and you will also receive Bishop Evans' national best-selling book, Healed Without Scars, as well as the Healed Without Scars music CD.
My mind's going where I tell it to go. It'll never go back. It's my mind. It's going to do what I say.
All yours when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today. Be prepared to watch a new you emerge.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses, but we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Adversaries come in many forms, but you will be victorious when you realize that worship is warfare.
Adversaries are necessary because without them, you never really discover your purpose.
We've accepted what somebody told us we were in our past. So our past is sabotaging our ability to hear instruction.
We are not much unlike a battery. The negative is the thing that's needed to produce the power.
I empowered you to overcome everything you've overcome up to this present moment. I fixed you for what's going to happen after this. You were in the mind of God long before you were ever born.
You are not alone in your battle. God has your back because worship is warfare. Put these 4 messages in your arsenal today on CD or DVD. Equip yourself by visiting our website or by calling 1-800-591-8480.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to OnPointe, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. That's at David G. Evans 1. Won't you tag a few people, tweet them, inbox them, call them on the phone, text them, tell them to join us for the #1 conversation Christian-based talk show in America, Saturday morning, a.m., anywhere in the world, nothing like us in the world, OnPointe. Once again, we're glad you joined us. You make this program very, very successful. We have the most intelligent kingdom callers in the world, and we're glad you joined us again. Of course, joining us once again is our world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas Smith. How you doing this morning, man?
Doing well. How are you?
All right. Now, you can give us a call and talk to us today. We have a slogan, let's talk. Come on, let's talk about it. 866-743 8267. That's 866-743-8267 as we discuss faith, Jesus, religion, culture, politics, sports, and of course the Word of God. Won't you give us a call today as we seek to keep you informed about those things that are impacting your life in the various arenas that you deal with every day, that you encounter every day of your life. We are endeavoring to keep you informed. Our opinions are always from a kingdom or biblical perspective. We want to hear what you think. We want to hear what you have to say. So give us a call, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. That's 866-74-EVANS. Well, Pastor Nick, I thought we were going to get rained out again when I woke up real early this morning, but
yeah, it's going to be nice out today.
The sun came out.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be warm, so it's going to dry things up, and it is very quickly.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it's hot.
So we'll have our 11:30 worship service outdoors today. Our drive-in service, come on and drive up. I believe we're also distributing communion elements today, the bread and the wine. We're going to distribute that for our virtual communion tomorrow. Looking forward to the second installment of the Power of Confession. Today, and we're going to talk about how to win the battle of your mind, win the battle of your mind. It's going to take us a week or two to really solidify this, but God has never, ever created you to see and then believe. You were created to believe and then see.
Taste and see.
So in this thing comes speaking. We speak when we don't see. The Bible says, I believe, therefore I have spoken. A lot of things going on this week.
Yeah.
I understand the president now is going on a tour.
Yep.
Former president.
Yes.
Is going on a tour, and it's designed to, I think, now they haven't said this or I haven't heard it, designed to build some momentum because he's been convinced by the pillow guy that he's going to be reinstated in August.
Yeah, that and trying to help with the midterm elections coming up.
Okay.
He's campaigning for some people.
Okay.
To get some of his people back in.
Okay.
As his whole ploy to set up his great comeback, I'm assuming.
Wow. But it's not about them.
It's about him.
It's about him.
It's about it.
Because what I think he wants is people to have one of these bogus recounts in their states. And, if they could legitimately do it, they wouldn't have to try to do it so weirdly.
Yeah.
You're looking for bamboo fragments on the ballots.
Right.
I mean, if you want to be credible,
yeah,
it doesn't make sense to make yourself look incredible right from the gate.
Yep.
So it's just, I don't know who's at the wheel anymore.
But his folk genuinely believe it. So Flynn is going around doing this. Did you hear the guy that Flynn, the former guy, that said the United States needs to do what was going on in Myanmar, I think it's called.
Yeah, okay.
Where they were staging the coup.
Okay.
And
he actually said that?
He said that. Now,
did they arrest him?
No, but he retracted what he said. and said, "I didn't mean it like that."
He said it.
He said it, though.
He's a military guy.
Yes.
He knows what coup means.
Yes.
Okay.
And the people there are like, yes, we need to stage a coup. They are still hell-bent on it was stolen.
But the problem with that is, if they have for a moment think they're going to defeat the U.S. military, they are out of their minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like they got tanks. They can shut your devices down.
Doc, you can't try that. I don't know about the other states in the country, but the last place you want to try that is New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
They have the only state police force that is equipped like the military. Reason I know is because I sat as a commissioner and we funded their development. Not only their training, but their equipping.
Yep.
So that, we assisted with that, and we've got the state police have boats, helicopters, armored vehicles. I mean, they can do anything they want to do.
Yep.
They've got surveillance techniques. They've got everything going on. So just in New Jersey.
Yep.
So maybe they're trying to swell the idea.
They're swelling the idea, and I wouldn't say they're implanting because they were always there.
Yeah.
Some of those people in the military and in the police.
Oh yeah,
believe
it's
this
been
stuff,
there. It's been there.
Which is why the Capitol was
It's
able
been
to
there.
be sieged because
Well, and then the other
had
thing
inside
is,
people.
Biden had to change out his Secret Service guys because of the infiltration of that mindset.
Yep.
So I would think the next phase of that would be these guys out of the Secret Service.
Yeah, Secret Service. Who's in the military? I think the military had to reassign some people from the Capitol.
Okay.
Because they had Trump-leaning views.
Okay.
Police officers, of course. That
So,
are,
so now, do you think? I'm asking you something I know you know the answer to, and I do too. Do you think? We were having this conversation. Let me back up. We were having this conversation downstairs, and my premise in speaking to a few of our men was that, based upon the biblical example of Mephibosheth, and how when Mephibosheth was sitting at the table with the other invited guests, that his infirmity was covered by the glory of the Lord's table, which I think we probably can use at a communion service. The glory of the Lord's table covered the infirmities.
Yes.
Because he was an invited guest and there was a seat for him despite his disabilities. However, when removed from the table, or the table was removed, all his inabilities and those things that were hindering him, whether internal or external, were revealed. And my context in the conversation downstairs was we watched a lot of manifestation of negative, unflattering things about people, emotional things, and spiritual principles that have been off, that were literally covered by the glory of God's congregational church. And when that physical coming together was removed, we have seen a lot of behaviors in the name of the Spirit and supposedly spiritual behaviors that absolutely revealed, and I'm not sure it revealed it to the people, but it revealed it to those watching them. Many inabilities, many spiritual challenges, many mental challenges, many emotional challenges. So we were talking about that downstairs, and it appears as though when the pandemic came, it not only revealed the good things about people, but it also revealed very starkly the bad things about people.
Right.
And the things that they were struggling with, but were hidden in the glory of God's church. Because I've watched people make spiritual decisions. I've watched people on social media which are now using scripture to push their own image, which I find to be offensive.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing now that with this pandemic, that the facade of no racism, the facade of caring for one another, the facade of loving thy neighbor, all that has been exposed because that thing that hid them is now taken away. And they tell me that I'm watching reports every day where they're talking about the mental illness during the time and the emotional struggles of people during this last 12 months came out with a vengeance.
Absolutely. I mean, experiencing a new season. None of us have ever been in a pandemic like this before,
No.
to this degree. And stress what they say, pressure makes diamonds stress, and pressure can also reveal a whole lot of other stuff too.
Stress can reveal that you're not a diamond.
Yeah, you're not a diamond, or that you are one. But I think that's the thing about God's shaping process. To me, He has a way of breaking you down to build you up.
Well, yeah.
If you take Lazarus' story, he waited till their faith was not completely broken, because they believed that he was the resurrection after the fact.
They had an incomplete revelation.
But they didn't believe that he could do it then.
Yeah, incomplete.
And he waited on purpose until their level of faith was deconstructed so we can build it back up again.
So that experience, he insisted that they have that experience so they could enter another dimension of faith in his power to do anything. It's amazing to me how the impossible is an arena that is a mindset, because where the impossible becomes possible is when we feel like we're standing up against an obstacle that is insurmountable. And then when he presents the impossible, or allows the impossible, physically or visibly impossible, to be present in order to move you into the mindset of possibility. And a lot of times we reject that. That looks impossible, and walk away. That's a mindset.
Absolutely.
It's like the goodness of God is not seasonal. Goodness of God is a mindset for the child of God. It's like renewal is not a one-time event. Corinthians is clear, or Romans. Corinthians or Romans tells it happens every day. So I just, I'm amazed at what has been revealed just by the people that I know. I've seen some people go through some incredible emotional stuff. I've seen people shut down. I've seen fears just come out in weird ways. Like I was, and you correct me on this. If something as small as a mask becomes a major concern for you, wearing one, being asked to wear one, becomes a major emotional concern for you, do you really have that much going on in your life when that little thing is taking away all of your rights? And you taught me something a while ago. People that say they're taking away my rights, the question you used to ask used to blow my mind. Name one.
Name one. Which one?
Which constitutional right? Which one was taken away?
My right to not wear a mask. First off, that's not in the Constitution.
No, it's
not.
It's not.
And people now, like I was at the store yesterday, and this lady, I was walking by, no mask on. People just walking around free. She kept looking at me like I was crazy because a few of us had masks on. I'm like, I'm not looking at you because you don't have one on. Go about your business.
And because it's some kind of a badge of independence. We're not dealing with a mosquito bite.
Right.
And some of the people that I see that are mask free and seem to be walking with their chest out.
That's the thing.
Like it's some kind of badge of courage, are not people in good health.
No, not at all.
They're people that don't need to get this thing. And we need to set the record straight. I recently had a conversation with someone about masks, and they told me, well, I'm fully vaccinated. And I had to remind them, we have people in the hospital, in ICU, that are fully vaccinated, 2 shots, because a variant jumped on it. So this whole thing about, the nurse told me when I got the 2nd shot. Now don't go out here and go crazy. This does not give you 100% immunity. You can still catch this thing and get sick. Just like you get a flu shot every year, and you catch the flu anyway. A year later.
There's this, I just read it this morning, crazy. This lady has, she's HIV positive. She's had COVID for 216 days. The reason why, I guess because her immune system's so
compromised.
It keeps morphing. It morphed 52 times in
inside
her body. Inside of her.
Wow.
I mean, that's just one person that it keeps just changing and evolving.
I didn't know that the AIDS virus, the first incident of it was 50 years ago.
That they know,
It seemed that long ago.
Yep.
And nobody took it seriously. And it was an African problem.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, and the same debates, you might not have been old enough to remember this, or I'm sure you read up on it. The same debate. Did it come from humans interacting with
I remember that
animals,
part. Yeah.
or was it created somewhere in the lab? It was the same argument
I remember that,
50 years ago.
Yep.
And 50 years later, there's an issue. They still haven't found a cure for it
Not at all.
because it changes and changes, not unlike flu viruses change every single year.
Yep.
Why do they change? Because this body is a laboratory.
Yep.
And viruses, for some reason, try to learn how to survive.
Yeah.
And don't think that this quote-unquote flu virus that has already shown its versatility is not going to try to survive.
Yep.
And what are we doing? We got 150 million people that are not vaccinated. And folk actually feel safe with half the population
Yep.
unvaccinated.
Yep. And you're right. These variants, they're showing the Pfizer works for some variants, Moderna works for some variants. So, but the thing is, you don't know which one you're going to get.
No, you don't know who you're around.
So you can't sit there and say, well, this shot works for all of them, because there's no one shot that works for all of them.
I had somebody tell me just with boldness, I'm fully vaccinated. And then I gave him I know people that have had it twice.
Yep.
I know folk that are in or have been in the hospital after they had both shots.
Yep.
And a period of time when they should have been immune because a variant jumped on them and sent them to the hospital.
Yep. And the crazy thing is the states that have the least amount of vaccinated people, of course, are states that are more of the pro-Trump states.
Yeah.
And are mad at him and his family for getting the shot. So it's like,
Wouldn't that tell you something, though?
that tells you something.
When I tell you something?
Like, they don't see
His
they're
whole
getting
family
credit.
had it, so
Yes.
it's real.
It's real.
But how do you have it and then say it's a hoax?
Right.
Because he understands the lack
Yep.
of acumen in the people he's talking to.
Yep.
He was a international example. Him, his wife, and his son, all sick. Him in the hospital getting the best care.
Yep.
And then says, it ain't true.
Yeah, it ain't that deep. It's not that bad. The president got over it. That means
It
we
wasn't
get over
that bad for
it.
him.
Right. And when he came out, it looked like they had a whole bunch of stuff propping him up. He was
Doc,
just.
Doc, they gave him stuff that you and I would never receive.
Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
They loaded it. They said it was like 12, 13 things they were
Yes.
giving him.
And none of us have 8 doctors to one person.
Nope.
You are not the president of the
No,
United States.
no.
And I think the president should have a lot of doctors.
Absolutely.
I'm not against that. But
Absolutely.
what I'm saying is,
if he can't get the best health care, that's what had my problem with Congress and Senate. How are you telling me I don't need health care and you have the best health care in the world? How are you going to legislate so I can lose mine while you keep yours?
Absolutely.
That's a disconnect that I can't get around.
And we're paying for their health care too.
Absolutely. That's a
the
disconnect
thing.
I can't get around.
No, yeah, I can't.
1-866-743-8267, 1-866-743-8267. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you this morning about those things that are on your mind as it relates to culture, faith, religion, Christ, the kingdom, the Bible, politics, sports. Let's get it. Are they having an Olympics or not?
You know what? They were. But
It looked like they were.
It looked like they were. But if knowing Japan like I know them, they may shut it down.
Well, but I understand they were arguing to have it.
Yeah.
But what they've decided is nobody can come except the athletes and Japanese people.
Yes. But I think they were saying that, and something happened out there. I think the virus rate started picking up again.
Of course it did.
Recently.
You can't start congregating and it not happen.
So they're not sure now.
Okay.
I mean, unless they, just money people, they don't care. So.
Well, I think what happened is they spent tons, billions on the stadiums, the venues, all that stuff. And now they're looking at possibly, the payback being delayed. Or the Olympic Committee do something crazy and move on to another city.
Yeah. And I mean, now help me out here. I know you love the Olympics.
Yes, sir.
And you're a businessman.
All night long watching them.
And I get it. Having the Olympics in your place is going to bring a lot of income,
Tons.
a lot of stuff.
Tons.
But then they show years later, all those stadiums they built just for the Olympics, they're all destitute, they're falling apart. So it's like making all that money, all that attention for that one, how long, 2 weeks?
It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, two weeks.
2 glorious weeks.
And it's 2 great weeks. I'm not against
2
that.
glorious weeks. 2 weeks of no sleep.
Yeah. But then they show all these places where they had all these Olympic places.
Yeah.
And it looks like a complete, old Western town where nobody is.
And I think that was further back in history.
Okay.
I think now with the Diamond League and these other professional track leagues, they're using the stadiums for different events, which is why the star quality of the athletes has taken on tremendous importance. Like Usain Bolt was great for this. Thousands and thousands of people come out to watch him run for less than 10 seconds.
Okay, so it's more they build everything for multi-purpose use.
They're using multi-purpose things now, and the reality is that those guys that make money during that time, they make enough money to last them the rest of their life.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think the municipalities end up owning the stadiums. So they have to find a way to utilize them. You know. But you know, I watch more swimming during the Olympics than I watch it in 4 years, man. I'm not even interested in the butterfly. But for the Olympics, I'm watching.
Or the what's the dance that he doing there? The,
I'm watching everything.
Water
polo. Yeah, that thing. What's that thing? Curling, which I still don't understand. It's great stuff, man. We got Tom from Florida on the phone. We got Bobby from Willingboro on the phone. You can give us a call, 866-743-8267. Now, exactly what happened to the California judge that thought it was a good idea to overturn the assault rifle ban?
He said that owning an assault rifle is no different than having a Swiss Army knife.
Now, what California judge? Is it going to make a difference?
Well, this is for the whole state now. So the whole thing is overturned. You're allowed to have AK-47s in California.
What's the governor's response to that?
He didn't say. I think it just happened last night or this morning.
Do you honestly think somebody needs an assault rifle?
No. Why do you need a military-grade weapon? For what?
He's talking about it's like a what's that knife that does a whole bunch of stuff?
The Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, it's just like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
Swiss Army knife doesn't kill like 600-700 people.
Right. Exactly.
What's wrong with these people? And this is on the heels of the shooting in San Jose.
Yep. But I think people forget California. They say Northern California is highly Republican. Southern California, mid and southern, are more liberal. So
they don't bleed?
They bleed, but they are Second Amendment, pro-gun.
I'm pro-gun too, but I don't need an assault rifle in my house.
Why do you need a flamethrower? For what?
Because it's an aberration of the belief. It's a stretch, really. To believe we still need a militia. Come on, man.
Right. Against tanks?
Come
on. What do you want
to
do against a tank?
Nothing. Like bows and arrows against automatic rifles. I mean, come on.
They got planes. They can drop stuff on.
Come on, man.
Just like really.
This is just so ridiculous. Let's go to Tom. Hey, Tom, how you doing, man? Welcome to On Point.
Good morning. Bishop, a couple quickies.
Go ahead.
When you're talking about seatbelts, not seatbelts, but wearing a mask. Same as wearing a seatbelt.
Yep. I don't know how old you are, Tom, but I remember I was a young man when the seatbelt law first began to be debated. And literally, people were saying, I need the right to fly through the windshield if I want to. Literally.
And this is all for your safety, and it makes sense.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Unbelievable.
And age-wise, I'm a lot closer to you than Pastor Nick, and I'll leave that alone.
I don't get it, man. Yesterday I was having a conversation with someone, and I said, some of the things that inspire causes for us are indications to me that these people have very little going on in their lives.
Yeah.
You know, how is a piece of cloth a statement for your entire being? I mean, you know, I don't get it.
Yeah.
People fighting. Fist fighting.
Look. They only bother certain people.
Yeah.
Because I got mine on, and I'm still not going a lot of places because I just think the possibility of infection has increased with the remassing of people in places unprotected, no social distancing. It's the American public has been shown to be so shallow as it relates to protecting their fellow citizens.
Yep.
The love of God is not operating.
Not at all.
It's all about me.
Unbelievable.
The other thing was, this thing with a coup. I think that was being flown around a lot last year.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of things I think made it quite clear to our ex-president was that when the Secretary of Defense jumped out, and when the Joint Chiefs of Staff came out publicly and said, I am not supporting, when he had to walk across the street, when, it was like, I'm not with that, I was not part of that. It was a surprise to me. I think it sent a clear message that the military is having no part of this.
Yeah, and I think they have just like, and this is very serious for me, just like the military has known there has been a gender discrimination problem in the military for years, that women were being assaulted and they were not holding people accountable for it, just like they've known that problem has existed. I believe they have known that there has been racial injustice in the military as well. Know that because of the women that I know that have served, the people of color or disadvantage that I know that has served and have testified, in conversations with me about the injustices they had to face. So I don't think any of this is new to the military, but the military is like an organization that seeks to protect its image at all costs.
Yeah.
And sometimes at the expense of people.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Especially the women.
The military can't be wrong.
Yeah, they're not. They think it's a sign of weakness. But the problem I had with it, especially as it relates to the females, of being harassed, being raped, being molested, just all kind of stuff going on in the military, is that number one, some of the women thought they had to tolerate it to pursue the career. Felt like they had no voice to scream out. Didn't want to be treated any differently.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, I think you can have your gender respected and not be treated the same as everybody else. I think that is where the difference must come. It's not all right for men to assault men. Why would it be all right for men to assault women in the military? I mean, it just maybe it's too much common sense coming from me.
Yeah.
Because and then the other thing is that a lot of times, if it's not our daughter, our sister, our girlfriend, our wife, we're not that concerned, Tom.
Yep.
And of course, it's her fault.
Oh yeah. It's almost as though we've taken the perspective, Pastor Nick, that Muslim countries have had towards women. It's almost like we've adopted that, but just in another form.
It is. Christian patriarchy has been in the spotlight for a while.
Okay.
And how damaging an aspect of Christian patriarchy has been.
All right, explain that. Explain your term, because
patriarchal is when the men basically run everything.
Okay.
And the women don't have many rights.
Okay.
And you see that in a lot of conservative churches. You're seeing a lot of those. The ones that always are the ones that push the purity movement are the ones that have the most dirt.
Absolutely.
Of sexual assault, molestation, all those things. The church we went out to in Indiana.
Yes.
The pastor's in jail.
Is he?
Yeah. He a few years ago he sexually assaulted some teenage girl.
Who, Vine or Lindsay?
No, not Vine. In Indiana. Remember the Amen. That church.
Yeah.
He's in jail now. But those churches like that are really big on men in charge, women don't have many rights, and
and we're talking about national evangelical churches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And this wasn't no small church.
No, Doc, huge.
That was not a small church.
No, with a huge youth ministry.
Huge.
And I believe a lot of people do not understand or even realize what's going on behind the scenes in those places.
Well, I think what the pandemic has done is remove the veil of coming together, and these different things are emerging. It's the Bible is always right. This is the season when the wheat and the tares have been distinctly identified. We cannot get around biblical truth. That Bible is so relevant, it's amazing to me.
Yeah.
The wheat and the tares have been revealed during this time. Now, the mistake that the modern church is making is thinking that God's going to judge them for us because we recognize them. when the whole revelation is, I need you to recognize what's a kingdom church, what's a political church, what's a real evangelical soul-saving church, or a church with an evangelical title who is discriminatory, prejudiced, and racist. So it's just, that's what's happening right now.
Amazing. Bishop, I know I got to get off. There's one other quickie. You said about AIDS. Do you know who the first big doctor to come out for the research in AIDS was? Anthony Fauci. That's where he first made his name.
Yeah, he's got a lot of history, man.
He's 80 years old. I didn't know he was that old.
He's doing really good.
Yeah.
And he's catching heck right now. And I think the reason is he's too honest. What I mean is he made some statements at the beginning of this virus we have now.
Yeah.
And the problem was he was being honest, not political.
Right. They want him to be political. They want him to be political.
Yep.
Yes, and even now, he'll say, I messed up. You won't give him the political thing. Well, that's not quite what I said. He's honest enough to tell the truth, and he's catching it right now.
Yeah. Well, because he's from a generation that if they have you on tape saying something definitive and you did not retract it, you can't say you didn't say it.
I didn't mean it that way.
But in this context, are you going to believe your lying ears, or are you going to believe what I'm telling you right now? All right, man.
You guys have a great day.
Talk to you, Tom.
See you, Tom.
Bye-bye. We've got Bobby from Willingboro and Danny from Florida. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Let's go to Bobby. Hey, Bobby, how you doing?
Hi, Bishop. How are you this morning?
We're trying to make it. How's it going in the big borough?
It's going well in the borough. Hi, Pastor Nick. I don't want to miss you.
No, it's okay. How you doing?
Okay. I just saw on TV recently Mike Pence.
Yeah, I did too.
And
He's pitiful.
Even
He's
after
pitiful.
45 put a hit out on him.
He
says
literally.
he and 45 have been in conversations with one another, and they have differences of opinion.
Yeah.
What is wrong with him?
Well, here's my problem. In order to have supported the former president lockstep, Mike Pence had to become a liar. Now, I don't know what he was before. All right. But I do know that when he became the vice president, his state was glad that Washington was taking him off their hands. So the reality is that in order for him to have supported the president the way he did, unerringly, Mike Pence has to be a liar. There's no way you can be a truth teller and support the president, a reality seeker and support the things that he said, every single thing, publicly. So whether he did not privately or not does not matter. All we have to go on is what he did publicly. All right, and since he did it publicly, then we are absolutely have the understanding that he cannot be a truth teller. So,
absolutely not.
So,
and I can't understand how Mrs. Pence is still there.
Well, I don't. You know what? I wonder about her too, because yesterday when I saw him, I'm thinking he does not care nearly as much about his wife as he does about Trump's opinion. Because if you tried to have anybody in my family killed, we would not be talking.
Not at all. Not at all.
You know, and you know, you could hear a rat pissing on cotton when he made the first part of that speech.
Yep.
And then he turned it to, I'm really proud of what we've done. He got a standing ovation on that part. But we won't agree on that day.
Yeah.
Right.
And you imagine?
Right.
That's the
He
day
left you out there.
He knew you were in the building and sent the people down there
Absolutely.
because he was angry at him
Absolutely.
and didn't care if he died.
Yep. Yeah.
That's something like if he doesn't vote his way, he wants the people to get him.
Yes. It was amazing. I looked at him. I used to look at him as he used to look at the president admirably, like he was admiring him so much while he was vice president. I looked at him yesterday, and I could see nothing but an individual who had sold his soul to the devil. It just looked like he had just, you know, okay, you tried to kill me, you tried to kill my wife. I understand his children were in the Capitol that day.
Yes, his family was there.
And now
And
he
what does he think he's going to get from this?
Nothing. He pledges this kind of allegiance through, it was skillful, but for somebody who listens to people, it was the most incredible pivot I'd ever seen. How do you go from we'll never agree to I'm proud of our association?
Absolutely.
So he found a way to excuse the man for trying to have his family killed. That's
Absolutely.
amazing to me.
For politics,
Unbelievable. Well,
So
that's
what's he
all I
think?
have
Does
to
he
say
think he's
to
going
you.
back in the White House too?
I wonder if he thinks he's going to run for something and he's going to get
I
that
don't know what
Trump
he would
crowd.
run for. What?
I don't think he can run for president.
Well,
He's
he
not-
got to run for his life, because they were trying to kill him. Come on, man.
Trump removed the hit? I mean, he put it on January 6th. Did he take it off?
I don't know. I think there's some people still upset with him because they're holding him responsible for why Trump is no longer president. Not the fact that he got outvoted by 8 million votes.
Yeah, he got voted.
That's a landslide.
Yeah.
But they don't believe that.
They don't.
They can't. They're not allowed to believe it.
They are scary. They're really scary.
They're not allowed to believe it. Thank you, Bobby.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a great day.
866-743-8267. That was Bobby from Willingboro. We're going to Danny from Florida, and then we're going to Ava from New York. Good morning, Danny. How you doing?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing? Pastor Nick, staff, how you all today?
Well, everybody's good, man. How's my sister doing?
She's doing great.
All right.
Great.
Please give her my love. What's on your mind today?
Well, yes. Well, I just wanted to bring you up to date to things that's happening here, and I know that we debate, you and myself, as to which state does some of the craziest things between New Jersey and
Florida.
Florida's crazy.
Florida.
Pastor Nick is saying Florida.
Our politics are crazier, but y'all people, that's different.
The situation that we have here, and we need prayer, and Bethany going prayer with us on this, and I didn't get a chance to get in on time last week, and I saw it coming. Situation with guns here, it's out of control. Totally.
Is it?
Totally.
What are they doing? Some of our people don't know. Tell us what they're doing.
They're doing mass shootings, and
In Florida?
In Florida, yes. Last week we had they had a gathering at a club. It was celebrating something that they got together, and 24 people were shot.
About that,
Where was that in the news?
I heard about it. It was like a blip, I believe. But see, that was in the middle of the San Jose and all the other stuff too.
24 people?
24. And 3 of them
shot or killed?
Yeah. I think a young lady passed yesterday. So it's a total of 3 that were killed out of the 20 some odd people, and it was organized in situation that was going on. And the thing is that it's happening in our community, and it's just going crazy, real crazy, and nothing is being mentioned nationally. And the situation is that the vice president to the vice president doesn't want that type of news to get out because of the fact that it affects tourism.
But do you think also it's because the president has moved there?
It's just crazy, really, with the automatic weapons that are, and the police, they're outnumbered as far as weapons.
So your gun laws allow for these types of weapons on the street?
Yes, this is the point. He's speaking on all these other things. They're speaking of cleaning up the bay. They're speaking on things like getting rid of the snakes in the Everglades that are coming in from pythons and things like that. That's making front news. He comes into South Florida for that, but he's not mentioning anything about gun control.
You heard us when we were talking about this California judge that overturned the assault rifle ban in California, which makes no sense to me. Guns are out of control, so you're making it possible for people that really don't need this type of weapon to have it? Where did that come from?
And here's the thing now, 20 some odd people were shot in a matter of 10 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. It was some rappers. I just looked up. There was some rappers party.
Okay.
So I guess somebody rode by. I don't know what was going on.
And sprayed the place?
Yeah. Yep. 2 died. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
3 now.
Was 3 now?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm. And it wasn't a drive-by as such. They pulled into an alley, exited the vehicle, sprayed the area, jumped back into the vehicle, and drove off.
Have they found them yet?
No.
No?
No.
I think part of it's because it was a bunch of minorities.
Okay.
It was a rap party.
Okay.
And then again, it's getting lost in the sauce of every other day. Here, 10 people getting shot. Here, 15 people getting shot. It's so many. You just can't.
Why? Maybe I'm being naive, and both of you correct me. Why doesn't the frequency of these incidences cause some alarms to go off in the people who've been elected to protect us?
Exactly. That's the point.
So in California and Florida, now you're exposing the public to more danger rather than less. Who does that make sense to?
Yeah. I think part of it's for political stuff. Some of them.
Which again, who does that make sense to?
These folks are stocking up weapons. I mean, crazy amount of weapons for some civil war, some taking back thing. I mean, or just in case the government overreaches, they are. Literally, the South, they are off the hook with this.
You know, it's a little, not a little. It's very, very troubling to me. Like I was told 2 days ago that a 13 and a 14-year-old went to battle when they got caught in someone's house stealing. And
what state?
Which state was that?
That was Florida, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And 2 foster children went to war with the police as if they've been watching too much TV. You know, you're not going to take us alive. What do 13 and 14-year-olds know about that?
Yeah. Yep.
And Bishop, these 2 kids, they had more weapons than the police did.
Well, they broke into the gun cabinet inside the house, which happened to be a policeman's house. And they say he had an arsenal in there. They broke into the gun cabinet, and they basically said, "You're going to have to kill us."
Yeah.
And a couple police died.
Yep.
Where did they learn how to shoot?
Yeah. And they say he was just. It happened in Delaware too on Thursday.
Did it happen in Delaware?
Something happened in Wilmington.
Okay.
That was in Florida. Another one in Delaware.
My problem is this: when is an incident going to signal to those that are elected to protect and help us that we need to do something about it? No, but their decision making is kind of strange to me. So we have these problems, and you make decisions that can facilitate the furtherance and the deepening of the same issue?
Yep. It's money and power.
And going back to the incident with the kids breaking into the home, where in that the people are pro-gun, they saying, "Oh, well, I have it in the cabinet, it's in my house."
They say they broke in the cabinet.
Exactly.
Yep.
Danny, all we can do is pray for Florida, but man, I'm not coming down there for a while. You know that, right?
It looks like I'm gonna have to get some kind of way to get up there or something.
Yeah, my invitations have started to increase, but my entire philosophy for flying somewhere is based on how this summer turns out as it relates to viral infections. Because I want to be wrong, but I'm not sure all this congregating and the loosening of restrictions and people no longer even observing social distancing in public places, and just people walking around as though they are great because they don't have a mask on, or because they're not vaccinated, or there's no concern for anybody else.
And one other thing, Pastor, is that I had a similar experience like what you had.
Yeah.
Since they made the announcement, I mean, here they've gone crazy with going into facilities, going into restaurants and things like that. I'm standing in line. This lady's behind me. She starts coughing and going on, no mask. I'm one of the few that still have the mask.
I have mine on when I go out too, man.
And, I try to, be polite about it. So I said, you know what, let me just get out of the line and go to the back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to have this person just coughing and sneezing and going on. I don't know what's going on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But, everybody thinks their germs are okay.
Yep. Yeah.
They're okay with your family.
Yep. Yep.
Your kids' germs are okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
And not even then, because the kids make you sick.
Yep. Yep.
But the reality, I don't get it, Danny. I think, I do get it, which is why I'm so concerned about us at this point. But no, I think that I'm waiting to see how the summer rolls out.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be wrong.
Yep.
But if they've taught us anything about this virus, it is congregational things, gatherings are not good places to be.
Yep.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if we're going to see a spread. But I also am, if governors are as unconcerned as they appear to be about throwing people back together and not impacting business owners the way they are, because they think it won't get them elected, I'm not thinking they're going to report statistics that are going to negatively impact their image.
Mm-mm.
So I'm looking for the stats to be hidden, underreported, until they can't hide it anymore.
That just happened in Idaho. This morning I saw they said that 16,000 kids in Idaho were tested positive for the virus.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't say anything for a long time.
Kept it
Then all of a sudden
quiet.
it came out.
Kept it
so
quiet.
who knows how many those 16,000 kids interacted with their parents, their aunts, their cousins. No wonder why it's spreading like crazy.
And then, with the healthcare industry, what I heard a report yesterday allegedly that up to 50% of people in healthcare facilities like nursing homes and all are not vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
And they're interacting with people and coming into the facilities where people have their grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts, and uncles.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
How do you keep your job?
Yep.
Working in a healthcare facility and you refuse to protect yourself or the people around you?
Yeah. And some of them are making them, some of them they're not.
I tell you what's going to happen. When folks start holding their loved ones out of those places,
Yeah.
then those healthcare facilities will change their point of view, but not before.
Yeah.
If the money isn't impacted, America does not respond.
Yeah, they don't care. Yep. Yep.
Danny, thank you, man. We got to talk to Ava.
Okay, Bishop.
All right, man. Stay cool. I'll talk to you soon here.
All right, will do.
Bye-bye. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Ava.
Bishop, Pastor Nick, what's going on?
All right, how you doing this morning?
Dude.
I'm doing well. Pastor Nick was told you I never knew that it was might as well, right? I always thought it was mine as well. Might indeed.
Yes, it's might as well.
Certain phrases like "sorry for your lost," and I
the-
mind as well. Can y'all stop, please? Sorry for your loss. Might as well.
You do sound better when you say might as well. It makes more sense.
Might as well. Sorry for your loss. Yeah. What's the other one that gets on my nerves too? That was a good ideal.
Thank you, ideal.
Ideal? What is
Great
an
ideal.
A good ideal. That was a really good ideal you had yesterday. What?
Right.
I hear with a R.
Oh.
All right, that's the only one I'm guilty of so far.
Those three, ideal, yeah.
Yeah, I'm guilty. I had a comment based. I think it was Tom when he was talking about, or when you guys were all talking about the women in church.
Mm-hmm.
It was 3 years ago. I took my youth group up to an event called Youth Ablaze. It's in Rochester, New York, every year, and it's a fundamental, independent Baptist. I don't know, it's got all these names on there.
What?
Type of church. So
They let y'all in there? That's the church we went to out in Indiana. That's the type of church.
Yeah. Okay.
That's them.
all the black folk came from my church, right?
Yep.
Well, when we went up there, so I took 24 kids. I took up there, and so one of the guys say, you know that game that Deacon McGee was playing where he gives you an item and you make a message about it real quick.
Okay.
That game that we played, and it'd be like Pepsi or something, and you
Okay.
gotta use it to make it. So that was the game that they played, and they had all the youth pastors come up, and the youth pastors were playing the game.
Okay.
So this one particular pastor got pom-pom, and no lie, it's video recorded. I could find it and probably email it to you. But he said, He said, as soon as I got pom-pom, my brain went right into the gutter. Amen. That was his opening statement.
That's what he said to the youth?
To the whole event. Like, they were on stage. We got people everywhere, like just different groups from everywhere, all over New York. Some come from Pennsylvania, Delaware. The whole rum. He's on stage.
He should have just said, once that thing entered his mind, he should have said, I can't think of anything.
No, they let it go. So he says, amen, because all I think about is the girls dancing around and the dresses, and he goes, and it's getting worse and worse. And I'm thinking, one of these senior pastors in here is about to go get him off of the stage.
They didn't move towards him, did they?
Not one single person, okay? So then he started talking about his daughters and how they getting older, and then it started to kind of get weird, because then it was like, okay,
what?
Are you checking out your daughters? I'm not even lying.
They are a sexually repressed group of people.
Okay.
Because they demonize their sexual drive rather than understanding God gave it to you and it's meant to be managed.
Right.
It's not Satan.
Right.
That's your body. Like, hello? Like, just.
He goes on and on and on. And then it got weird. Now, one of my girls in my group, without going into, she had issues in that area.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where something past happened.
Yeah.
She's triggered. I have family that it went through, that I watched go through. So I'm like, she starts having this whole convulsion thing. I got to get her out of there. She's crying, which is working me up because I'm already emotionally attached to this situation. I'm trying to calm her down. I got 23 other kids in there, and I only have 2 other adults with me helping. So I get the girls out that's having this issue right now. So after it's all said and done, I get the kids out. I go to the pastor who's run the whole thing. He's from Chili, New York. So I go to him and I say, hey, you know, the pastor that went up there, he said this and that third. It was really inappropriate, this and third. He's like, oh, well, you better not come back for the night service because they brought pom-poms to the night service and they dubbed him Pom-Pom Pete. The pastor that did this whole long series on women's bodies and all this other type of stuff. It was so crazy.
And this was a youth event?
At a youth event. It's called Youth Ablaze in Rochester, New York. I don't care if I blow it up. They can be mad all they want. I wrote all types of letters. I was so very upset about the whole situation. It was the worst experience I've ever had. I had kids falling out all over the place. Parents was calling me. I was in an all-night prayer session with myself. I don't even remember falling asleep that day.
You an all-night prayer with yourself?
I had to pray with the kids. One girl was just so hard. Her dad almost drove up 3 hours to come get her because she was just going to take her to the hospital.
Wow.
But it was just a trigger for her. And they all just kind of laughed it off. And it was so crazy.
You know what happens, Ava, and we got about 30 seconds. Okay. Most pastors do not have the courage to correct a situation when it's happening live like that. Most of them don't have the courage to tell one of their literally go get one of their peers or say to them, "That's enough." Yeah. We don't have that issue here. They've seen. Pastor Nick hasn't done it, but they've seen me tell somebody national, "That's enough." Yeah. You know, just move on. Like move on. They say I'm an OG, but I just think.
Oh, you are. You gangster. I probably won't try the business. Be on the phone.
I'm glad to hear that. David, we got to go. Kiss everybody for me, please.
I will. No problem.
Talk to you now. Bye-bye. Well, we've come to the end of another program. Yeah. Our drive-in service is today at 11:30 a.m. You can start arriving at any time. We'll be glad to see you today as we do our second installment of The Power of Your Confession. Tomorrow, of course, you can join us online at 8 a.m. You can join us for Engage Live at 9:45 to 10:45. And then we're back at 11 with the second installment of the Encounter Worship Experience. And join us at 6 for our Communion Encounter celebration. If you need prayer, email your prayer request to social, that's social, at go2bethany.com. That's social at go2bethany.com. won't you please subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ, and subscribe to our platforms. DGEMS and OnPointe are our podcast platforms. DGEMS or OnPointe. Those are our podcast platforms. We want you to join us. Now, as always, see you in a couple hours, 11:30. Remember now, faith acts like a thing is so. Even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. And see you next time on OnPointe.